Well, it's been a hot minute since I did a video for YouTube. Time just goes fast. Like, time's gone really fast. Prep is just, it's just flown by so far. But we are now officially 7 weeks out, and I say officially because it is official. Show has been booked. It's going to be the UK, the FBA. I always think I get that wrong because it's just a random assortment of consonants. But UK, the FBA, I think. UK International Open or something like that. I don't know why it's called an international when it's a UK comp, but hey ho. So 13th of October. Now I'm weighing in at about, well, I've gone up again a little bit the past couple of days, but the trend is still going down. So my new low was 86.4, which I've not weighed for a decade, or near enough a decade. And that actually prompted me to look back at some old pictures of how my physique has changed over the years. And I want to take you guys on this little journey with me, right? So I'll bring them up on the screen. But starting off, 1995, here's little old me, a little egghead, blonde hair. I did have blonde hair for a long time. I wish I still had blonde hair, I was very cute. But going into, I'm imagining this is around 1998 kind of time. Obviously started off on the weights nice and early and got my little keyboard with me because always a musician from the start as well. So got started at weight training in 1998, so I've technically been doing this for a very long time. Again, 1998, 1999, couple of little pics, but you can see in the Hercules pic, you can see the legs. Look at them legs. Like, I'm tempted to put this picture against like a front double bicep and say that it's a 6-month transformation because that's what everybody on Instagram does. But getting into the actual pictures of me when I kind of started training. So this one's in 2013. Can see my terrible acne. I had the worst acne when I was young. Shout out to Roaccutane, horrible drug, but it did sort me out. So how long I've been training here at this point? 2013. Started training in like 2011. In like 2010 actually. No, 2009 I started training. So been training here for like 4 years. Just in crappy leisure centres and like Pure Gym and stuff back in Grimsby. But the traps, they were there. I always had decent traps and I used to train my traps so much. I used to do shrugs like every single day. And then this is the picture, right? 2014. This is the picture that really I wanted to compare against because in this picture I know for sure that I weighed about 86.5 kilos. I did a cut back then, and this was in Rife If It Fits Your Macros days, and I did this cut entirely by eating ham and cheese toasties because I love ham and cheese toasties, but I just made them fit my macros. Terrible way to do it. Wouldn't necessarily recommend. I used to have like yogurt and a protein shake for breakfast, and then I'd eat like 3 ham and cheese toasties throughout the day, and sometimes I'd have tuna pasta. But that was in second year of university of my undergrad. And to be honest, looking back at that now, I'm like, why didn't I do bodybuilding? I got into powerlifting for several reasons, which probably not for this video, but I should have done bodybuilding. Like, I look decent. I look pretty decent. But anyway, let's fast forward to 2018. So this was me in powerlifting days. I don't have any pictures from 2015, 2016, 2017, but 2018, this was when I started taking like check-in photos because I wanted to start losing weight again. And I wasn't happy with how I looked at all at that point. This is like almost all-time low kind of self-confidence levels. still like decent frame, like my legs look decent. I've always had like chunky legs, but yeah, I wasn't happy here. And then fast forward to 2019, apparently the weight loss thing didn't actually go to plan, and I just got fatter. So this was me thinking I was being sexy, which, to be fair, if you're into dad bods, then pretty sexy. But again, wasn't really very happy with my body here. I didn't have a good relationship with my body, didn't have a good relationship with food, rife body dysmorphia days, was not feeling myself, if I'm absolutely honest, was really not feeling myself. And then 2020, same kind of thing. Throughout this period, I was powerlifting. I, again, just didn't have a very good relationship with food, with my body. I was eating loads of Mackies. I was having Domino's nearly every week. But still training is the main thing. You know, the positive to take away from these years of where I wasn't feeling myself, I wasn't particularly, you know, in the best shape, no matter how you kind of want to define that. I was still training, I was pushing it. I was in peak powerlifting kind of phases at this point. Probably weighing here about 116, I think. That was kind of what I weighed throughout most of 2020. I will put the weights underneath the pictures if I can remember to. And then 2021, this was whilst I was doing my masters in physio, so this was down in London, and started to move away from powerlifting at that point, mostly because of my masters. I just couldn't balance everything, and started focusing a bit more on kind of physique stuff again. But that's 2021. 2022, definitely looking like I've got mass. This was like peak, I'm just trying to bulk, like bodybuilding training style type stuff, with a bit of powerlifting kind of smattered in there as well. Also, you can see on this picture, the hat that I'm wearing, it's got like a burger, some chips and a drink on it, and I absolutely bloody love that hat, but it got stolen, and I'm really, really sad about it. And if anybody could find me that hat on the internet, please send it to me, because I really want to buy one again. Anyway, fast forward to 2023. So last year, it's about this time-ish last year. I don't know what I'm weighing here, probably about 115-ish, or maybe like 112, that type of weight. But again, wasn't very happy with my body here, if I'm honest. Wasn't very happy at all. But this was when I was actually getting back into powerlifting again. So you can see there's this trend forming where I did powerlifting and I'd kind of just get fat for it. And this was one of the main reasons why I actually decided I don't want to do powerlifting anymore, or at least for the time being. I want to pursue bodybuilding, because I've really fostered a really negative relationship with training and my food. And that's where it's been such a different context and such a transition, going from that attitude of food equals performance, eat, get big, get strong, to food technically is a negative influence on performance in terms of how you look on stage. You know, obviously you've got to have your food right, but it's not just abundance of food is good. And it's not like that in powerlifting either. That was just my completely bastardized kind of immature input into it. There's loads of guys now that look incredible and they're mega strong and they're not fat at all. Most of the people at the top of, you know, powerlifting are like that and always have been anyway. You've got to remember, I started powerlifting back in 2014 when powerlifting was still like a proper like weird little sport that not really anybody did. And my idols in powerlifting were like Eric Lillibridge and flipping, who else? I can't even think of names now. But they're all big chucks, like proper big chucks, like C.T. Fletcher, but like prime CT Fletcher, when he like, sometimes I like to do pose reps, like proper big boy type vibes. And he does talk about his heart attacks and everything, and kind of says that it wasn't a good way to be, but like, yeah, that doesn't change your mind when you're 19 and you want to be the strongest person in the world. So anyway, back to the pigs. So yeah, that was up to 2023, and then let's start at this year. So I'm just going to bring up, so this is me at the start of prep. So this is now 14 weeks ago, and that was a starting point. Again, decent muscle mass, decent legs, like good frame. This was the version of me that Tom, coach, and several other people have kind of always said to me, like, you should think about bodybuilding one day, like you might do well in it. And this was the version of me that made people think that. And I'm not going to go through every single week, but let's just finish this off with this week's check-in. Same pose, front lat spread. This is what 13, 14 weeks of natural bodybuilding prep looks like, I guess. Still a ways to go to get like proper like stage lean, but I mean, putting those two photos next to each other, I'm barely recognizable, basically. My face and jaw has never been this lean before. I've never actually really had abs particularly before, like properly, and I've certainly never had leg definition. So this is amazing to see that all of the work that's been put in is actually showing up, and this is what it's come to. I feel kind of emotional even just looking at it, because it's been a difficult time, but it's so gratifying. And I think really it's worth saying that the benefits and the good things to have come from it are so much more than just skin deep. Like, it's not just me looking a certain way. I won't even say good, because it's subjective as to what's good, but me looking like that, and I'm definitely much happier in my skin now than I ever have been, like so much happier. I've struggled with body dysmorphia for like my whole life. I've never really felt in much control of my body or how I look, probably because I had this psychological association between food intake and performance, and then you layer on top of that when you're doing powerlifting, you associate so much of your identity and your self-worth with the weight on the bar, at whatever cost. And that mindset was just becoming a freight train towards a cliff edge. It was just too much. And shifting up focus now, it almost is obsessive in a different direction, but I don't feel that obsessive nature of it. And it's probably, hearing that is, you just say, well, it's easy for you to say that, like, of course you're obsessed or whatever, but I'm not. Like, I know what obsession feels like to me. I've got a very addictive personality. Like being, as I say, growing up all the way through my 20s with ADHD that was undiagnosed, everything kind of makes a bit more sense to me nowadays. I was always chasing that dopamine, so of course I had an addictive personality. It was hardwired into me. But I'm not obsessed. I'm actually just really thoroughly enjoying the process, and I can't wait to see what another 7 weeks looks like. So half of what I've done already, again, from week 0 to week 7 to week 14, the progress between those 3 is insane. And yeah, I just feel overwhelmingly grateful, if I'm honest. Grateful for my body, for my ability to be able to do these things. I know a lot of people aren't able to, and you've got to remember your circumstances and not to marginalise yourself. You know, everybody still has their own struggles and whatnot, but I'm very grateful to my body for being able to let me do this. I'm extremely grateful to my past training experience, you know, getting into the gym, influenced by friends at school that were in good shape, starting off literally just doing dumbbell chest presses every other day, and the days between doing just lat pull downs and shrugs, because that's literally all it was. Grateful for that, and I'm grateful for everybody around me now. Like, I've not posted a YouTube video in a bit, but even with just the YouTube stuff, like, I've had some amazing feedback, like some people saying, you know, I've watched your videos, like, really enjoyed it, glad that you're doing some YouTube stuff. So I'm sorry guys that I haven't posted for a while. I will try and post some more. I've actually got next week off work as annual leave. Apparently me 2 months ago absolutely needed a break, didn't book anything, not going away or anything like that, but just needed the break. And yeah, grateful for all of you, like, really am. Although I'm the one that's got to do this process for me, having the support and people that actually genuinely care about something really quite silly that I'm doing, really, is absolutely amazing. I'm just checking if my camera's died again. I don't think it